Are you a real estate looking to take your business to the next level? This is a foundational model you don't want to miss. What is the life cycle of a lead? If you like what you hear today about a life cycle of a lead, share this, comment below, subscribe, because I'm dropping content on a weekly basis. The life cycle of a lead is the most foundational model in the real estate business. Whether you're a brand new agent or you are a seasoned agent, this simple process is going to take your business to the next level, help you close more deals, help you retain talent, and grow your business exponentially. Let's get into this. The life cycle of a lead begins with a straight line left to right, knowing that it ends with you getting paid. This line right here represents the moment somebody raises their hand and says, I want to buy or I want to sell. The time period from the dotted line to the day we get paid is transaction management. We call this transaction management, which is everything we do the moment somebody raises their hand and says, I want to buy or I want to sell. This time period should be roughly 7 to 10 weeks, and it's everything that we do during this period. All the way on the left-hand side, we're talking about lead generation. And lead generation is simply one-way communication. One-way communication with a goal of having two-way conversation. And the moment we have two-way conversation, we move into the second phase, which is follow-up. The purpose of follow-up is to create emotional proximity. So let's dive deeper into this. Lead generation, one-way communication. I want you to think of a bicycle wheel. And the bicycle wheel has the different ways that you are having one-way communication. So if you are holding an open house, that's one way, hoping that somebody walks in for you to have a two-way conversation. If you're calling for sale by owners or expires in a TCPA compliant manner, that's two different spokes on the bicycle wheel. If you're working your database, sphere of influence, if you are doing networking events, if you're door knocking, each one of these methods is a spoke. What I found is that most agents who are struggling have 1, 2, maybe 3 spokes on their bicycle wheel. And that works for a period of time. And if you think of the spokes of lead generation as a bicycle wheel and a market shift as a pothole, if we have 3 spokes of strength in our lead generation, well, the pothole most likely will bend, break, or permanently destroy the tire. Whereas if we have 6 or 7, maybe even 8 different spokes or ways of having one-way communication, odds are your business is going to be recession-proof, shift-proof, and be able to withstand any adjustments in the market. So if lead generation is one-way communication, follow-up has one true, simple definition: create emotional proximity. And the definition of emotional proximity in real estate is simply whoever is closest to a lead when they are ready to do business gets the sale. So here's a great example. If you're like me, you go to the department store and you're looking through, and somebody comes up to you and says, can I help you? My natural state is no, I'm just looking. Well, I know they can help me, but I'm still saying naturally, I'm still looking. Well, I'm going to look through, I'm going to grab a couple things, and I walk down the aisle, and then the next person says, can I help you? And I say, yes. Where is the fitting room? Well, they're going to point me to the fitting room. I'm going to go into the fitting room and going to try on the stuff, and I'm going to come out with 1, 2, maybe 3 things. Well, the next person that I see, they go, can I help you? I'm going to say, yes, I'd like to buy these. Well, you see, the first couple people who approached me, absolutely wanted to help and could have helped, but I wasn't ready. And the person who was closest to me when I was ready to do business got their name on the receipt and maybe got a commission check. So when it comes to emotional proximity, it's our job to follow up and be in as close proximity with as many humans as possible so that when they raise their hand and say, I want to buy or I want to sell, we're the ones that they're thinking about. Now that we know the definition of lead generation, follow-up, and transaction management, the next part of this is absolutely vital. If you like what you're hearing so far, comment below, share this video. I'm looking to get as many subscribers as possible, and hopefully you're liking this content. So the next phase of the life cycle of a lead is understanding that the top real estate businesses, the top real estate teams, the top agents have mastered all three: one-way communication, emotional proximity, and everything from the moment somebody says, I want to buy, to the day we get paid. But they do three things in the correct order. And this is the most important part of building and sustaining a real estate business. Number one, they follow models with systems. See, a model is just borrowing the best thinking. Borrowing the best thinking. A mentor of mine once said, you should be chasing models, and if you read something that is subordinate or not as good of a model as you already have, move on. But always chase models, borrowing the best thinking. Systems, doing the exact same thing every time for everybody. See, we already have many systems in our world, like when you brush your teeth. You don't start in a different spot in your mouth every time you brush your teeth, you start in the same spot. How about when you put toothpaste on your toothbrush? I put it under the water, put toothpaste on, and then I put it back under the water. Are you that same way, or do you not put water back on the toothpaste after you put it on? Systems. How about when you put your pants on? Do you change legs every day? When you brush your hair, do you start in a different spot? We do systems in everything we do. And one of the secrets that has helped me and the people inside my world succeed is that anything we do more than once, we should build systems around it. So when it comes to models and systems in the spokes of lead generation, there are best practices in holding open houses, calling for sale by owners, calling expireds, door knocking, geographically farming, hybrid farming. Best practices, models, and then systems, doing the same thing every time. So once we have models and systems for all the spokes of lead generation, then we move into models and systems for follow-up. In other words, how do we create emotional proximity with as many humans as possible? One particular model that we subscribe to is a 36 touch. It is using text, email, phone numbers, client events throughout the year with a numerical amount of contacts in a systematic way. When we move into transaction management, think of how to qualify a buyer, how to qualify a seller, going on a buyer consultation, listing presentations, how to present offers, how to negotiate offers, show homes, how to do contract to close for a buyer, contract to close for a seller, how to negotiate transactions, models and systems. So once we have models and systems for lead generation, follow-up, transaction management, then and only then do we bring in, number two, technology. See, in real estate, the purpose of technology is simply to make things easier and scale. See, I'm a firm believer that if a real estate agent can close 12 transactions a year, they can close 50. And the only reason that they go from 12 to 15, 17, or 20 and get stuck there is because they're missing a model and a system, or they put technology before models and systems. So let's break that down. When it comes to follow-up, let's kind of break this one down. When I first got into business, follow-up for me looked like a 3x5 card where I would write their name, their phone number, their address, their personality style, their motivation, when I would throw that lead away, never collect leads. And then I would put it in a recipe box that had the numbers 1 through 31. And those days represented the month going into the next month. And so if somebody said, hey, call me in 2 weeks, I would take the 3x5 card, I'd put it in half the amount of time. Another pro tip, always cut the amount of time in half. And then what I would do from there is whatever day it was, I would take those cards out, I'd put it in my suit pocket or put it in my pants pocket, and I would call through those leads every single day that it was supposed to. You see, I had my model. This was my system. Well, then I got into a CRM. See, when I first started selling real estate, all I had was a binder, 3x5 cards, and a headset. And so when I learned about CRMs, it was like, oh wow, I can now scale my business. This now makes follow-up easier because I just follow the same model, the same system. I just now have technology that makes it easier. Well, you see, the same thing goes with your database and creating emotional proximity. I mean, if you know what your touches are, if you know what your system is, now you could do it with 100, 1,000, 2,000 people because technology allows you to scale. Same thing goes with your checklists and your systems. If we do not have a powerful contract to close process, technology is just going to complicate everything. And I know you know what I mean. Now, here's the most important part for all you established, successful, long-time agents. We have to do 3 things in the correct order: model and system, technology, and then number 3. Only once we have models and systems for everything, technology making things scalable and easier, then we bring in people. And people could be operational support, it could be buyer agents, listing agents, hybrid agents, could be a virtual assistant. But only when we have models and systems with technology does people make sense. Now, if you've had a lot of turnover on your team, this makes sense. Why do you have turnover? Because we can't retain talent because we don't have specialized knowledge, specialized models and systems, and our technology isn't supporting their growth. It's actually just friction. If we bring on a virtual assistant without clear systems, what do they do all day? Now you tell me, how many virtual assistants have you fired? How many didn't work for you? Buyer agents, agents in general that stay inside your world will stay inside your world because you have the infrastructure, you have the protection, you're saving them time, which becomes your value and your retention. Now here's the honest truth. If you're keeping agents inside your world without having clear models and systems, your technology is a mess. I'd ask you, what split are you giving up? Which is why they may be staying inside your world. Now, that last part doesn't necessarily matter all that much, and yet, if our goal is to run profitable, effective real estate businesses, understanding that our job is to chase models, our job is to build duplicatable systems that make our life easier, use technology to scale our business, and then and only then bring people into our world to provide leverage, to provide a greater life for them, and get people who can run your plays better than you can. but it's your systems, it's your business. And I hope Life Cycle of a Lead made a lot of sense to you. You were able to plug in, and please share it, subscribe, pass it along. Can't wait to share with you the next video. Take it easy.